Hey beautiful souls, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. Today, as always, I have a general reading for you, and as always with a general reading, only take what resonates and leave the rest. It is a timeless message, and Spirit will always guide you to a message that you need to hear exactly when you need to hear it. Okay, for the ease of channeling, I'm going to use the pronouns he, she where necessary, but by all means swap them out for pronouns that fit for you if these don't. Okay, let's take a look and see what Spirit wants us to know today. These cards feel like they're slipping out of my hand as I'm shuffling. And as I'm shuffling, I'm seeing a mask. Someone's mask is slipping. Nike and Leslie, your talents will lead you to great success. The time has come to allow your potential to awaken. Believe in yourself. Someone was lying about you. Someone was creating a distorted image of you and going around. I see a group of people telling them things about you. You know who this is. You already know. This is not news to you. But instead of getting upset, you stayed grounded. I'm seeing with the brown dragon here. I'm seeing this as you, and the fact that she's leaning on him, you staying grounded in your truth of who you are. Focusing on yourself, strengthening your trust and faith in what isn't being seen. Believing in yourself, knowing who you are, using this as an opportunity to get to know yourself on a deeper level. And because of that, because you've continued to focus on you, you've not got dragged into, like, it doesn't feel like you defended yourself in any way. You knew you didn't need to. You didn't have this need to defend yourself, to argue with this person or these people, because you know who you are. And you knew that what was being said about you wasn't true. It was false. It was a false representation of who you are. You stayed grounded and just had trust and faith in the divine, that everything was happening for a reason. And I'm not saying that wasn't hard to do, because it's not nice to hear things about ourselves that aren't true and that are horrible, especially if they're coming from people that we once trusted. You know, it's a betrayal, and I really feel like you went through some sort of betrayal from somebody that you thought highly of, and instead of, there's a saying of hurt people, but that's never resonated for you, because you're somebody that when you hurt, you don't want other people to feel the way you do. So you transmute that energy into being a better version and making sure that you don't do that to others. Okay? Treat others how you want to be treated. That is what resonates for you. Okay? That's who you are. You would never go out of your way. That doesn't mean that you don't hurt people, but you don't go out of your way to do it. Okay? Sometimes people are going to get hurt as a result of you putting boundaries in place and you making choices and decisions that are right for you. Okay? That's not your fault. Okay? As long as you're not doing it to be malicious, that's not your fault. Okay? But somebody was creating a distorted image of you and used that to turn a group of people against you, and you just had trust and faith that this strong, what they underestimated was how healed you were. Somebody, even though they knew you, they underestimated how healed you actually were. They thought if they could get this group to come against you, that it would plant those seeds of doubts and they could knock you off your pedestal. They didn't like the attention that you were getting. They used your name for clout. I feel like you had like someone that you were fairly close to, like a friend or a family member, that behind your back was mocking you, shaming you, calling you a fraud, saying you're this, that, and the other, to turn a group of people against you because you were getting a lot of attention from this group. And I'm hearing fresh meat, fresh blood. So it may be that you were new to this group of people. So you were new, you were exciting, and this person got jealous and resentful because they thought that they would get pushed out. This person was coming from a lack instead of looking at what they were gaining. And they were like being nicey to your face, but slagging you off behind your back. But they were doing it for clout, to appear relevant. They were talking about you and what's going on in your life, but they were distorting the truth. They were taking you and everything you've gone through and twisting it into something it wasn't, to turn this group against you, to create this distorted image of you. But it backfired for them because they had this plan. They had a plan, and the plan was either to get you to stop talking about something or to just isolate you from this group. I don't feel like they wanted you away from this group, but they wanted to keep you for themselves. They wanted you to stay in their life. They didn't want you to be interacting and having, with this group. Okay. But it backfired because something went wrong. They had this plan. This person's going to do that. This person's going to do that. It's like I can see like this map of like, when like a war map where like people are like, all right, this boat's going to go here. This boat's going to be here. This plane's going to attack over here. That's what it feels like. Like this group of people were pawns to this person, like flying monkeys. And I can see them like, right, so-and-so's going to do that. They're going to go over there. They're going to go there. But I'm going to tell this person that. I'm going to tell this person that. They were telling them all different things about you, or taking something about you and twisting it differently to each person. But it backfired. Something went wrong. The plan went wrong because the plan was to isolate you from this group so that they could do one of two things. It was to turn this group against you so that you would go to them like and ask for their help with this group to get them to realize that you weren't who you were. So their plan was to either tell this group that you were this, that, and the other, and then like to your face go, yeah, like hoping that you wouldn't find out, to your face being like, oh, but I've told them they're just such a nice person, this, that, and the other. But actually what they would planning to do was go back to this group going, oh, they're so insecure, they're so this and that, can you just pretend to be nice to them, because they didn't want you to be included in this group. They wanted you for themselves. So that was one part of the plan. The other part of the plan was, oh, okay, Spirit, like, no, that's gone. I've completely forgotten. I've completely forgotten what I was saying. Okay. My mind has gone completely blank. That was right. No, there wasn't two parts to the plan. That was the plan. That was the plan, but it backfired, and now their mind is blank because they don't know what to do. There's no plan B. because they didn't expect you to work out what they'd been doing behind your back, because I feel like you took yourself out. Instead of, they wanted to isolate you from this group, so that basically what they wanted was for you to rely on them, to be codependent on them, to mediate between you and this group, so that they had some sort of control over you. But what they didn't realize was that in doing this, they slipped up. I said about the mask slipping. At some point, either talking to you, somewhere along the line, their mask slipped and they let on. They told you something, or something was said, and their mask slipped, and you already knew intuitively, but it was the physical evidence that you were looking for, right? And this person's confused because you never confronted them. So what I'm seeing here is, I'm seeing you knowing exactly what this person has done, knowing that they've betrayed you, and you going up to them and hugging them like, what am I? Like, in like gangster movies or the mafia, when a member of their family has betrayed them, they don't necessarily let on that. I'm talking about films, okay, not the actual mafia. I don't know why I need to clarify that, but anyway, in films, like when you're watching films and someone in the mafia has betrayed like the head of the mafia or something like that, they'll go up to them and they'll hug them, knowing that that person's betrayed them. It's like Judas. Didn't Jesus hug Judas? Because that's how he let everyone else know that Judas was the one who was going to betray him. Something to do with hugging your betrayer. This person is a Judas. I'm pretty sure, don't quote me if I'm wrong, but isn't there something to do with Jesus said to his disciples that one of them was going to betray him, and he hugged Judas. That the night before, he hugged Judas, and then Judas went off and betrayed him. That's the energy that I'm getting. I don't know if I've quite got the storyline right, but that's the energy I'm getting, okay? That is much easier to explain for some reason than what I was trying to get with the mafia, whatever. But anyway, that's what I'm seeing, is like, you knew someone had betrayed you, but you didn't let on that you knew that they'd betrayed you. They thought that they had you fooled, and you went up to them, you hugged them. And then, like, going back to the mafia, they hug them, and then the next thing you know, that the person that's the traitor, the Judas, has been executed, or they go missing or something. I'm not saying that this person, you're going to get a hitman out or anything to get rid of this person. I'm not saying that at all. But basically, you cut them out of your life. That's the effectively the execution, if you like, is the cutting them out of your life. And you've now, like, they're confused. They're like, their mind's blank, because that's what they weren't expecting. They didn't expect you to cut them off. They didn't expect you to find out. They thought that they were so covert that they would be able to go undetected. But you knew when they betrayed you, you didn't have your back to them. You were facing them. You knew, you saw it coming. You may even have tried to tell them that you saw it coming, or you told someone you saw it coming, and they didn't take you seriously. But what I'm seeing here is that you had so much strength and faith and belief in yourself, in belief in God, source, universe, whatever your belief system is, that you were able to stay, surprisingly, calm and collected whilst it was all going on. That doesn't mean that it didn't hurt, but you didn't react. You just took yourself off and focused all that energy on you, on your self-worth, healing anything within you, strengthening your boundaries, disconnecting from that person. And the longer you disconnected from that person, the more you realized how peaceful your life was becoming, and how actually the thought of going back and spending time with that person was just creating so much anxiety within you. Because that may be a sign for you that how you know that something's not for you. All right. We have Kuthumi and Kayana, and it says, smile and feel the peace that smiling brings you. Ensure that there is divine peace within you at every level. Absolutely. This person was trying to throw you out of alignment, because there's something about when you're out of balance, you're more easily controlled. Okay. They wanted to control you. They wanted to be the center of your universe. They were smiling in your face and slagging you off behind your back, because it wasn't only giving them a sense of control over you, it was giving them a sense of control over this whole group as well. But unbeknownst to them, you knew what was going on. You saw everything. Yeah. Lady Nada and Prudence. True life happens from one moment to the next. You will find the love you long for in the here and now. Absolutely. As hard as it was, you realize that this person, this situation, this group, they weren't for you. They could never love you unconditionally, because they cannot love themselves and each other unconditionally. So I'm hearing you can't sit at our table, and you saying, bitch, please. I don't want to be surrounded by negative Nancys, people that gossip and put other people down, people that are going to bully me into submission and choose a path of fear rather than choose a path of love. If you actually genuinely have an issue with me and you believe that I'm this way, why are you not coming to me for the truth? You know nothing about me. Why, if you're not willing to do your research and get to know me, then I don't want to sit at your table. But they felt like they knew you because they were hearing about you from this person that was close to you and had known you longer. But there's somebody within this group that is realizing that they were fed false information about you. That it wasn't like, I feel like this person may have taken things about you, things that you've gone through, and twisted them to the point that there is a person specifically within this group who is now looking at the information that they were presented with and realizing that they don't know you. They had no right to judge you. They were judging you based on somebody else's experience, and it wasn't even that but the thing is, though, it wasn't even an experience that this person was having with you. They were talking about you as if you were doing things to them, and what they were doing was actually exposing what they had actually been doing to you. So they're telling this group all these things that you're doing to them, the way you are, the way you are as a person, like this distorted image of you, but it was the truth of who they were. Like, and someone's realizing that this person in what they're saying, because it feels to me like they've tried to keep it going. And this group are like, they're not around now. You can't keep blaming them for doing things. They're not doing that to you. They're not here to do that to you. So it's like this person, like they were telling them that you were doing XYZ to them, but actually it's what you were experiencing at their hands. Sorry, I'm going to sneeze. Oh, excuse me. It feels like this group, there's somebody within this group just looking at this person like, just stop, just enough now. Like they've had enough. They've had enough. We have Ashtar, Shiran, and Turbo. Friendship requires attention, respect, and harmony. Nurture it. It is very precious. Do not lose touch with your friends. I genuinely feel that this is a friendship, that you were friends with someone who went to a group of people and was slagging you off behind your back. And this group, to start off with, fell for it. They're not falling for it now. Specifically, someone within this group is not falling for it now. They're realizing that you walked away from this person because the friendship wasn't balanced. You were the one putting in all the time and the effort. You were the one always going to see this person. You were the one always willing to drop everything and hang out with them wherever they wanted to hang out. But they weren't making the effort to go to you. And I feel like they're realizing this because they're experiencing it for themselves. They're starting to question, like, hold on a minute. Like, I'm always coming to you. You never come to me. Like, there's a specific area that this person that was gossiping and talking about you behind your back doesn't want to leave. Like they don't want to get out their comfort zone. So they expect everybody else to meet them in that comfort zone. And when you stopped doing that, when you refused, when you realized how unbalanced the relationship was and how it was affecting you, and it may have affected your health, it may have been draining. Like, she feels to me like she's like resting because she's depleted, that doing all the running around here, there and everywhere to go and, you know, drop everything in your life to go see this person and going wherever they want you to meet them, like a specific place, was becoming very, very draining to you. And you had to take a step back to refill your cup. And when you did that, this person, that's when they turned on you and started trying to turn everyone against you and say that things along the lines of, they don't see you because you can't be bothered with them, or that you're too clingy and they've had to like disconnect from you because you're draining them. And it just wasn't the case. We have the Ace of Wands. You took inspired action to move away. You took the energy that was being directed at you to transmute that into something creative, okay? The Ace of Wands can represent a message of love. We have the Three of Chalices, which is the Three of Cups. And we have the Ace of Cups, which fits really nicely in with this card. You got some sort of download, some sort of information, some sort of message. I feel like somebody gave you some information. Somebody gave you some information about what this person was doing behind your back. there was some sort of message, some sort of information. I know this isn't the Ace of Swords, but I'm getting something being given to you, something being handed, some sort of something that sparked you to something, because I'm hearing, I knew it. I'm hearing you say, I knew it. So somebody said something to you in conversation about this person, what they were saying behind your back, because I can hear you saying, I knew it. I knew it. I knew I was right. I knew they were doing that. And they told me they weren't. But they were something to do with gossip. 3 of Cups, something to do with community. This person, you disconnecting from this person and taking some time out to do what you needed to do and fill your own cup, to work on your self-love, sparked something within this person that turned them against you. Like, you were inspiring other people as well. Something about you was inspiring others. Like, somebody was really, like, admiring you, like, really liked your energy. Something about you. And this person was like, no, I'm not having that. No, I'm not having that. And they turned this community against you. They were inspired. Something, sort of action that you took to step away, inspired this person to turn a community against you, inspired them to, it may be that you said something to this person. Maybe you were worried about this group of people not liking you. And it's almost like this person's gone, aha, excuse me, confirmation. I can hear this person, like, they're looking at you, smirking, and like, I've got you. This is how I'm going. This is how I'm going to keep control of you. This is how I'm going to keep you for myself. And what they were trying to do, what they did was then go, right, okay, this person's worried about these people not liking them. They're worried that these people aren't going to accept, like, something to do with your spirituality, like you doing tarot or something like that. They're not going to accept. You were worried perhaps that this group would accept you. Maybe that you've always known that you were different, and when it comes to meeting new people, you used to, because I don't feel like you do anymore, but you used to worry whether or not they would like you. But now you look at, instead of worrying about people, whether people are going to like you, you look at whether or not you're going to like them. Like, you were worrying at this time, so this feels like past energy. You were worried about being, like, whether or not you would fit into this group. There were things that you were worrying about, something to do with age as well. And this person was like, I've got it. I know exactly how I'm going to play this. And they had a plan to turn this community against you, to use all that information to turn this community against you, to isolate you. So, could you see how she's looking in her cup? They wanted to take from your cup so that they felt like they had more control over you, so that you would be reliant on them, so that they would be like the middleman or the middle woman. What they underestimated, though, was actually how far along your healing journey you were. And they may have successfully isolated you from this group and turned this group against you. But what they did in the process is they actually lost you, because you realized the role that they were playing in what was going on with this group, and you disconnected from them. So they were so scared about losing control over you and losing you, that they've lost you anyway. Does that make sense? They've lost you anyway. And it feels to me like they're really sort of coming to some sort of realization that actually they have no access to you. They have no information that's going on with you. They don't know how to get access to you again, because you may have blocked them, or they may have blocked you, but it would cause too much pain to their pride and their ego for them to unblock you and reach out. But you stood your ground. You've stood your ground, kept those boundaries in place. We have the 9 of Wands. That's, you know, you've grown through adversity. Everything, they honestly thought that this was going to break you. They honestly thought this was going to break you. Or that it would make you come crawling back to them. There's something as well about this group not wanting anything to do with them. We have the Queen of Wands and the Magician. This person may have been doing black magic, doing spell work against you. But anyway, even if they're not actively doing spell work, just talking negatively about someone, gossiping about someone, you're psychically attacking them. You're sending that energy towards them. But this also talks about manipulation. This Queen of Wands manipulating this whole group, this whole situation, like micromanaging everybody, and it's like backfired in their face, because they didn't actually expect you to walk away. They only wanted to isolate you from this group. They didn't want you to walk away from them. But there's something about this group, because they tried to isolate you from this group, they're now being isolated from this group. This group of people are not wanting much, if any, interaction with this person, because there's something about, even though this person kept it going, or they've tried to spark it, they've tried to reignite the hatred, and this group is like, no, like they've tried to, this person is still, they're trying to blame you. They're trying to, because they're losing control of this whole group of people. They've already lost control of you, but they're now losing control of the narrative about you with this group of people. They're bringing up things that you supposedly did in the past, and this group is like, for goodness sake, just let it go. It didn't even happen like that. It's something about their story. Something about their story changing slightly, and they're trying to like blag it off as, oh, well, it happened years ago, so I can't remember the full facts. And these people are like, they're not believing them. They're seeing through the lies. I feel like whatever they there's been some sort of repercussions for this whole group. We have the 10 of Chalices, which is the 10 of Cups. There is a union here between two people that is divinely protected. This is either your union between your divine your inner masculine and feminine energies, or this is a divine union with another person. Okay, you could be male, female, same gender, it doesn't matter, but there is a divine union, some sort of, you're married spiritually, whether you're married on the physical or not, you're spiritually married. Okay, this union has taken place in spirit, regardless of whether or not it's actually manifested into the physical yet or not. On a spiritual level, God has ordained some sort of union, okay, whether that be within yourself or with another person. Okay, it's heavily protected, and this group of people are realizing, they came up against a divine being. They're realizing that this person that turned them all against you knew that you were a divine being, knew who you were, and pulled them all in. And now they're mad at this person because they have to face the consequences of doing that. They have to take responsibility, though, for the fact that they could have made a different choice and they didn't. Okay, but they're mad at this person for dragging them into their drama again. Okay, this doesn't feel like this is like a one-off for this person. It feels like it happens regularly. They've got dragged into the drama. They're realizing that this person created a false narrative of you so that they could play victim and make you out to be the villain. But this group is questioning their actions towards an innocent person, towards a divine being. This group, this person, and the problem is this group is feeling really angry with this person. They're very humbled by what's occurred as a result of coming against you. It feels like they are feeling it on every level, that they feel under pressure, they feel attacked, because everything they sent to you, everything they took part in, is going to come back to them in one way or another, and it's going to hit them where they feel. So it doesn't necessarily, karma doesn't always hit exactly the way it hit us. So if somebody tries to attack you through your looks or through your money, it's not necessarily, or through your relationship, it's not necessarily going to come back on the people in that way. It's going to, karma will balance the scales, and they'll use whatever that person feels like values more. Okay, so if that person values a particular relationship, it will hit that person's relationship. If that person, values money, it will hit their money and their finances. Okay, their career, things like that. Okay, I've got a really itchy nose. So this person that instigated the whole thing and tried to turn this community, this group of people against you, is really irritating this group. They have literally, they're like, this happened years ago. Get over it. You like, let it go. Like, this person isn't around now. Stop blaming them. It feels like there's something, things are going wrong for this person, and they're trying to say it's you attacking them. They're trying to say that you're sending stuff their way. So what they're receiving is the consequences, is the reverberation, the retaliation, the rebound of everything that they've been sending towards you, and everything they're doing is coming back on them per the law of karma, okay? And the law of attraction. What you give out comes back to you. But they've gone run into this group going, oh, it must be them. They're doing this to me. They're doing that to me. They're sending black magic my way. And this group is like, somebody in this group specifically has been doing their research on you. And they're like, no, they're not that way. They don't do that. They don't condone that. And this person's like, you don't know who they are. I've known them longer than you. I wouldn't put it past them. And they're like, no. Or they say they don't do it, but I bet they would. And this person's like, no, this may just be karma finally catching up with you. And unfortunately, you've dragged us all on for the ride too. Right? That's how this group of people are now responding to this person. They are fed up with their bullshit. They are fed up being dragged into their drama. They do not want to know. They are trying to disconnect themselves from this person because they think that if they distance themselves, it will lessen their karma. And it may not. It depends on the level of involvement that they actually had. But they just feel so tired and drained by this person. But it feels to me like they don't want to cut them off because there's still that sense of loyalty. And it may not come to that, but they may have to cut this person off completely in order to find their peace, okay? Because in them cutting this person off could be Spirit's way of balancing the scales of karma through these people, okay? But definitely you cutting them off was karma anyway, okay? Not that that's why you did it. Let's get some more clarification. But this person is still trying to get clout off your name, coming to these people with stories, and they're like, do you know what? You haven't had any contact with them. No one has seen them. No one has spoken to them. You have absolutely no idea. Stop making up lies to make yourself feel better. Because I feel whatever the consequences of these people's action is, it's really hit them deep. But this one person is still refusing to take responsibility. Knight of Swords, Five of Swords, and the Three of Wands. They're waiting for something. They're looking for signs that you're going to return. Someone's looking for signs of your return. Or looking for signs from you that you would be open to communication. But this group feels deeply affected by the consequences. There's something to do with about you walking away. Even though this group didn't really know much about you, doesn't really know who you are, doesn't have that strong connection to you because they don't know you. There's something to do with you when you walked away, like it, and it doesn't feel like it was at first, but sometime after you walking away, I think when they realized that you weren't coming back and that you weren't acting from like something to do with you acting childishly. Somebody thought that you walking away was you acting like a child. And you throwing your toys out the pram. But they're now realizing that wasn't the case. And now that they're realizing that they saw your reasons for walking away wrong, they had the wrong perspective of you, they're realizing that they should have acted sooner to make things right. And this group feels like they're realizing it's too late to fix things. It's too late. I'm hearing One Republic. Too late to apologise. This group is trying to make peace with the fact that you're not coming back and that it's their fault. But this one person in the group, we have the Lovers, okay? So you could be, this card specifically shows 2 females. You could be same gender, or it could be that this person who's your friend actually is obsessed with you. And maybe this group's realizing that this person is actually obsessed with you and wants to be you. They want to be your copycat. They're trying to copy you. Someone or this group is realizing that this person was trying to steal your identity. Okay? They were trying to steal your identity. They wanted to be you, that they're obsessed with you. They may even have told others that you were obsessed with them and that you're actually like, that you were in love with them, but actually what it is they're actually in love with you. And we have the Moon. Yes, secrets and lies are coming to the surface. The truth is being revealed. Okay, truth is being revealed. I keep looking at this deck. I'm gonna go here. Truths are being revealed. This person's lies are getting exposed. People are realizing that they were wrong about you and they're having to eat humble pie because they're realizing that you are something that they've never encountered before. You're not of this world, and quite frankly, they don't know how to approach you. Like, I don't even know if I feel like they're so embarrassed and ashamed by their actions that they wouldn't even be able to physically, even if I'm not feeling like anyone is actually sorry. It doesn't even feel like this group is sorry. They do feel humble. They do realize that they were wrong. But because they lack so much, like they have no self-awareness, they're not able to take accountability from the same place that someone with self-awareness would, that they're so embarrassed, they're so caught up in their ego, so embarrassed and ashamed and so angry that they've been manipulated by somebody close to them, that even if they wanted to apologize to you, I don't feel they could physically get the words out, because they're too embarrassed to face you. That's why. They're too embarrassed to face you. They know they have to apologize. They know they have to apologize. If they want to reconnect with you, have any sort of relationship with you, they know they have to take accountability for their actions and apologize. And they're just so embarrassed and so ashamed. It feels like they are avoiding you because they can't physically get the words out to apologize. Your body is like a book. Yes, somebody read you wrong. Somebody read you wrong because they were seeing you through somebody else's perception of you. They judged a book by its cover. They judged a book by its cover instead of reading its contents, okay? And we have "It's time to shine." They're seeing who you truly are. They're seeing who you truly are. They read you wrong, and you realized that everything that they were saying about you was a reflection of everything unhealed within them. And they are equally recognizing that everything that they were told about you was a reflection, was a projection, of the person that was creating the distortion and the false character. I've just had character reference. Release old patterns. Yeah, they're recognizing that this person needs to stop doing. This person's done it before. They've absolutely done it before, and this group have done the same thing, gone in and attacked. They're recognizing that this person needs to stop behaving that way, but they're also recognizing that they need to stop creating the scaffolding for this person to do it. There's something about this person being a bully, but they bully and attack someone, and then the person that they're bullying fights back, and they go, "Oh no," and they run to this group of people to protect them. And this group of people have been scaffolding, have been fighting this person's battles, regardless of whether they're right or wrong, because there's this belief around loyalty. And they're realizing, or coming to the realization, that actually this is not working for them anymore, and they can't keep fighting this person. They're not willing. They're wanting to seek peace within their own lives. They're realizing through seeing you walk away and create that peace within your own life away from this person, that they can do the same. They may not quite be at the stage of completely cutting this person off, and like I said, they may not need to, but they're realizing that there's a different path and they can take a different path. They're just realizing that, not realizing, what was the word I was going to say? Regretting not choosing that different path sooner and standing up for you when they know they should have done. Like, they could see what was happening to you. The attacks weren't like it. that it wasn't nice, it wasn't fair, and they just went along with it, or kept quiet and didn't stand up for what was right. And yeah, they're really regretting that. Clear limiting beliefs. Like I said, their beliefs are changing. Their beliefs around what went down, who this person is, the distorted image of you is kind of coming in. It's clearing up, but instead of seeing your face, it's like they had this image of you, but when they look at you, the image, as they started to question things and whether or not they made the right choices, and they continue to listen to this person putting you down and coming up with stories. It may be that this person actually came up with a specific story about you since you've disconnected from this person and this group. It feels like this person came up with a story about you and this group, and went to this group and convinced this group that it was true. And you've been seen on multiple occasions, and this group is like, you lied to us. So if you've lied to us about that, what else are you lying about? You convinced us that this was happening and that's not happening. Where did you get that information from? And they're going, oh, they can't bring the receipts for where they got that story from, where they got that information about you from. So this group is like, just stop. Like, we just don't want to be involved anymore. We just want to focus on our stuff. We don't stop creating drama where it doesn't need to be. Stop making it about you. But this person is desperately clinging hold of trying to continue to paint you as the villain. But the more they do it, the more it's transforming. Like, when you see someone's face transform into someone else's, this is what is happening for this group of people. They're seeing this person transform into, like, to show their true self, and they're seeing the same within you. They saw you as the villain, this distorted image that they had of you is now becoming clearer. And the more they look, the more they're realizing that they was misled, that they were recruited, that they were lied to, and they, the more humble they're becoming as a result. But they feel so guilty, so embarrassed and ashamed that they cannot face you. I don't know if they genuinely feel like, at this moment in time, I feel like they're still in a little bit of cognitive dissonance. They want you to be how they perceived you to be, so that they don't have to feel this guilt and this shame and face the fact that they had you wrong, because it would just be easier for them. They don't want to have to look in the mirror. But the more they look at you, the more they have to face the truth that they were wrong. They judged you based on the opinion of someone else, based on the gossip that they were hearing from someone else who secretly was jealous of you. And as a result of that, they've lost. And it feels like they've lost everything that they were trying to hold on to. Okay, I'm going to close this reading out because I am trying to make my videos shorter. And I don't feel like there's anything else here. Okay, affirmations are positive statements about how you want to be, how you want your life to be. Used on a regular basis, they can help to maintain a positive mindset, and to manifest the things that you want to manifest. Okay. Okay, so let's get some affirmations, please, Spirit. I explore my wildness and dance in pleasure. Yeah, you disconnected from this group, from this person, and you just, like, you were just out here living your life, being your true, authentic self, and it bothered this person. It absolutely bothered them that by doing that, you were getting everything that you wanted, but they saw it as you were getting everything that they wanted. I gather more wisdom each day. Yeah, somebody's doing their research, has done their research, is doing their research. They are getting more information about who you are, yeah, I'm going to take this one because but before I turn it over and read the words, I'm really drawn to the eye. Somebody has been watching from a distance. Somebody's been watching you. Somebody's been watching this person, gathering more information, getting to the truth. And it says here, I am honest with myself and others. They're realizing that you were being completely honest with them about the situation, that you weren't attacking this person, that you were basically speaking about an experience that you'd had, but you weren't being malicious with it. You weren't gossiping. You were just speaking on an experience that you'd had with this person. From a place of love and wanting that person, whoever this is for you, to put the effort in so that you didn't have to cut them off. And this person took actions like they tried to say that you were like threatening in a way, like you were saying, like, this person's doing X, Y, and Z. If it continues, I'm going to have no choice but to walk away. I'm going to have no choice but to do this. This person that turned this community against you tried to make out that you were doing it because you're controlling and manipulative and you wanted everything your own way. And now that the group is seeing that that's not the case, that you were acting from a place of self-love, and protection and boundaries, and that actually you were speaking up and saying, you were warning this person, if this continues, I'm going to have no choice. You can carry on as you are, keep doing what you're doing. That's your free will choice, but I have free will to walk away and continue over here. And this group's starting to realize that that's who you are. That's what you were trying to do, that you were trying to warn them, and that this person just didn't want to step up. Like that their actions, they then, because they felt like they would get the backing of this group, they made certain actions, took certain actions and made certain choices towards you. Because they knew that whatever they did, whether they were right or wrong, this group was going to defend them anyway, because they were just going to turn around, I heard cry crocodile tears, and play victim. Gratefully, I surrender my struggle. You did. You surrendered this situation over to the divine, and you just let them deal with it. just had trust and faith that the divine would have your back. And I've just heard spiritual court. Okay, these people have been, if they haven't already, they're being taken to spiritual court, okay, for what they've done to you, what they've been saying, what they've been doing behind your back. And for some of it was even in your face, or not to you directly, but they tried to attack you through someone else. Okay, I am going to leave it there. I really hope that this helped. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you soon. Namaste.